It says we're live.
We'll see.
Yeah. Hey, Sarah, Josh.
And they're already, of course, they're already there.
Yeah. Oh, we've got a few interesting things to talk about today.
One moment.
That
What do you
was
mean,
quick.
one moment? I'm not talking to you. Hush. Uh, First up is a comment from Dawn on a text to me. The Colorado governor declared the 20th as a state holiday and meatless day.
Yeah, apparently you're supposed to go vegetarian on that day.
Yeah.
In Colorado.
Yeah, in Colorado. So rural Colorado has responded. 26 rural counties have declared a meat-in for the 20th. And in Dawn's County, the store in town is having a meat-a-palooza.
God bless rural Colorado.
Yeah, and the fact that there will be a cookout on the courthouse lawn, the county courthouse lawn on the 20th.
Western rural counties will do that.
Yes.
If anybody was stupid enough to declare a meatless day in Texas,
Would
the smell of barbecue grills and grilling meat.
make it all the way to DC.
No kidding.
Yeah, Sarah says, pass the ribeye. Yeah, good luck getting a ribeye where you are. Well, you might be able to if you've got a decent exchange.
Have you seen the price of meat these days?
Yes.
Holy gods.
And Texas is having its normal spring weather.
It's bloody cold out there, it is.
Yep. Hey, Jesse. Yeah, Josh, I'm with you. Sirloin, New York strip, or a filet, or good barbecue.
I like a good ribeye.
Yeah.
I like a New York strip, but God's honest truth, a sirloin is actually becoming more and more my favorite.
Yeah.
You know, it's not as tender. It's not as tender as the other cuts, but it's got a lot more flavor.
Hey, Sarah C. Yes, Josh. Ian's accent's out already.
Oh, for God's sake!
We'll get into that in a minute.
Ah,
And RK, you're not sharing the elk with us. What is wrong here?
oh God, I love elk.
Yeah.
I love elk.
Elk or moose, either one.
Never had moose, but the elk is just. Of course, it might have been the way it was cooked, but the elk I've had was just fantastic.
Moose tastes like grass-fed beef.
Does it?
Yeah.
Never had it.
And it's very lean. And RK says, I'm here and you're there. Well, we could meet in the middle.
If I could find a way to get my hands on some picanha
Yeah.
that they serve at the Brazilian steakhouses,
Uh,
that has got to be my all-time favorite cut of meat.
yeah.
That is just, oh my God, that's good.
Yeah. And Cedar Shine says, moose is good. Yes.
That's it. Never had it.
Yes, Sarah. We had a chat earlier. So yes, he's on a roll already.
Mm.
Yeah. In other news, before he gets started, thanks to Brenna Bach, who corrected my misstatement concerning a post that I put up on, whatever the hell it is, Instagram. I mistakenly called a 4-barreled German gun a drilling when in fact it's a Vrilling, Vrielling. And the one that I posted, and it's also on my blog today, is a beautifully engraved, and I do mean beautifully engraved, 4-barrel with a 22 Hornet, 2 8x57s over a 20 gauge. Yes, Josh, I'm not an Instagram girl. I don't post those pictures.
Thank God.
But when I had seen them in Germany, they were called, basically, they weren't called Vrillings. They were called stand guns.
Because you need a stand to
Now they're not that heavy.
till you pull the trigger.
Yeah, well, yeah. I've shot an actual Sour and Son drilling that was 8x57 millimeter, Josh. Big round.
Standard German military round for
Yeah.
about the same time as our 30-06 was.
A friend of mine had one that was a bringback, and it was a real sour, and it was 216 gauge over an 8x57, and it weighed 6 pounds.
Yeah, no.
And he let me shoot it. And I shot it the first time and was, whoa, wait a minute, let me get a better grip on this thing. I shot it the second time. It was like, that's not bad. Then he pulls out this 8x57 round. It was the rimmed, the one that he had. And 6-pound gun, 8mm round, it got my attention.
Oh, yeah.
I handed the rifle back to him. I said, thank you very much, and you can keep it.
No,
And I said, and here's the $7 for that round that you just let me shoot.
no kidding. I love a good double rifle.
Yeah.
They're a thing of beauty. And one of the reasons, there's two reasons they cost so much. Regulating two barrels
Yeah.
is a work of art, not science.
Yes.
And two, they have to be fitted to you.
Yes.
Because a 375, my father had a 375 Chapuis and a 470 Rigby, and they were fitted to him.
Yeah.
And apparently, I never dropped the hammer on them. Were quite pleasant to shoot.
Yeah.
But I'm here to tell you, I fired off a Hammerly.
Yeah.
Hammerly. No.
Yeah. That's it, Hammerly.
It was a 30-06 double. Somebody had discovered my love for double rifles.
Ooh.
And let me shoot a 30-06 double that had this odd. You had to push this great huge block forward to cock it. It was kind of weird, but it was not fitted to me. It was not pleasant to shoot.
No.
Now my mother had a 30-30 Chapuis, 7.62 by 51 rimmed is what the Europeans call it. She had her little 30-30 that she used to shoot a leopard off my father was an absolute joy to shoot.
Mm-hmm.
But it was the French. The French, God bless their little cheese heads, no women, and when they build a rifle for a woman, they build it. Americans don't, and
Yeah.
something I've never understood. The French will build a double rifle around a woman's anatomy.
Yeah.
Americans don't. Weatherby has started with their Camilla line.
Yeah.
And somebody else, I forget, has an actual dedicated rifle stock for the female shooter. And I'm here to tell you, if more American gun manufacturers would get into rifles for female shooters.
Yeah.
Because, guys, rifles built for us are painful for women to shoot.
Oh, yeah.
Rifles built for them are a joy.
Yeah.
That little Camilla that Weatherby's making is just, I wouldn't shoot it because I don't have the architecture that's built around.
Yes, this is true.
But it's an absolute joy to shoot. It's from what I've heard.
Yeah, Josh says 7.92 by 8mm Mauser ain't nothing. Ain't stupid strong, but powerful enough to be a service rifle. Yes.
Yes. It was the German service rifle for about the same time the 30-06 was on.
Yep. And Jonna says, I'd love a decent rifle. Jonna, you get out here. We can fix you up, girl.
Weatherby's Camilla version is actually, for Weatherby, is an affordable rifle.
Yeah.
And they're making, and the geniuses at Weatherby, I'm guessing it's Mrs. Weatherby that's doing it, are offering it in easy shooting cartridges like 6.5 Creedmoor.
Yeah.
No, 6.5 Grindle, Creedmoor?
Creedmoor.
They're offering it in easy shooting cartridges. So, because folks know that your average lady that buys her first rifle is not going after elk tomorrow.
Although the gunsmith down in Breckenridge that I used was building one for a lady to go to Africa.
Oh, good Lord.
And it was based on a Ruger #1.
Yeah, okay.
375 H&H with a carbon fiber barrel.
Sod that for a game of soldiers.
She had been down there and shot it and loved it.
All righty then.
It's like, okay.
But if more gun manufacturers would actually design stocks for women on rifles and shotguns, it would today take off like hotcakes.
Yeah, Josh is wanting to know how they design a rifle for a woman that's different from a standard rifle.
The toe of the butt is 1 to 2 inches further forward.
Yeah.
It's if you look at it sideways with a barrel pointing to your right, the top of the butt is further. It's got a reverse.
Yeah, it's got a reverse cant like that.
It follows the contours.
Yeah.
It follows the contours of the female upper chest.
Yeah.
Because particularly on the more well-endowed ladies, the when it recoils, the toe, the bottom of the buttstock, digs in before the top hits.
Yeah.
So they move the toe further towards the pistol grip, so it's
Yeah. So you get an angle that looks like that, vice the straight angle for the men.
Yep.
Yeah, John. Yeah, they that's called a length of pull, and that is adjustable.
usually.
And they do they do in our case is boom room. Okay, yes, there's that. But they do make them in different lengths, and a good gunsmith can fit a gun to a person.
Well, Shapui fit that double rifle to my mother.
Yeah.
And they had her come in, and it was quite matter of fact.
Yeah.
Oh, you are a lady, you will have this stock.
Yeah.
And man, she did work. She did work with that 33 like you would not believe.
I got lucky enough one time I was in London to go to Holland and Holland.
Oh, huh.
And since we were over there in uniform, I got to go into the fitting room. And the guy looked at me and went, "Try this one." Went, yeah, that feels pretty good. He says, "Yeah, that's a Remington 1100." Well, you know what my price range is. Yeah. Yes.
That old boy, the old boy that fit my mom for that rifle, he'd been doing it for yoinks.
Yeah.
And he had the majority. He just looked at her when she walked in, had the majority of the rifle done in his head already. It was it was fantastic to watch.
Yeah. In other news, Kerry has been caught on an American Airlines airplane without a mask on.
My question is this: American Airlines was very loud about lifetime bans on passengers for not wearing a mask. When can we expect the press release on his lifetime ban on flying American?
Sometime around the 12th of November.
Hypocrisy.
Yes, weekend has it. And in other hypocrisy, I will turn it over to Ian and let him go on his rant.
There was a video released here recently about the House Plant in Chief giving a statement, not a press conference because the man doesn't give those, giving a statement. And the interesting thing is there's irregularities
Yes.
in the video. His hand passes in front of a microphone that's got to be 3 feet in front of him, and the top of his head disappears randomly.
Yep.
My question, which maybe I'm not verbalizing properly. My question: I don't think he wasn't there. There was, well, there's video, there's shots taken from another angle. He was there. I'm not saying the man wasn't there. I want to know why they had to manipulate the footage.
Yeah, the question is, what was manipulated to fix it, quote unquote?
And the spin is it's video compression error.
Bullshit.
Well,
damn it.
The thing is,
well, 12 minutes.
The thing is, it's odd that with the latest and greatest technology, video technology, we're having issues that we weren't having with Trump or Obama or Bush with older technology. We didn't have these video compression issues. Again, I'm not saying the man wasn't there.
It's not video compression issues.
Again, I'm not saying the man wasn't there. I'm saying it looks to me like the video has been manipulated. I'd like to know why.
Yeah. I'd like to know what was taken out.
Or modified or whatever.
Yeah.
But, it's like, oh, for fuck's sake, there are shots he was there for. I'm not saying the man wasn't there.
Yeah.
What I'm trying to say, maybe not well, is it looks to me like the video was manipulated.
Yep.
And this is again something coming from the media and a whole bunch of people that instead of explaining an issue, they just say, "Oh, you're full of it. Move along."
Yeah. Yeah. John said, "Did you see the one where someone is playing a Rose Garden press conference? And then they look out the window at the Rose Garden and it was empty.
But okay, this is something that the media and a whole bunch of folks, private folks, ought to know better. Are really are have taken off to doing,
Yeah.
and it's really starting to cheese me off. Is I would have had no problem with the outcome of the election if somebody with some poll had said, all right, we understand there's issues. We understand this looks bad. Here is the reason it happened. And you give me a reason, I would go, oh, okay.
Yeah.
But they didn't do that.
Nope.
Just shut up and fall in line.
Yeah.
The Biden thing. Okay, that looks like an issue to me. Nobody said, all right, this is what happened. Here's the proof. It was a video comparison. No, it's just like, oh, you stupid kulak, fall in line.
Yeah. And using Newsweek as the source of the fact check. Mm-hmm. Yeah, right. And Raptor says they digitally erased Biden's marionette strings.
That's just it's odd. And
yeah. Well, and of course, the other thing that the media is not covering is the fact that I think it's Wisconsin or Michigan. The court suit is now saying yes, there were issues.
Well, and that again in the same vein. It's every time somebody brings up irregularities, let's say, in the election, it's like, oh, the courts dismissed all those.
No, they haven't.
Well, they dismissed a lot of them.
Yeah.
But no, dismissal does not mean there was no standing. Well, it doesn't mean that there wasn't anything wrong. They dismissed them because in one case they dismissed it because it was filed too early.
Yeah.
And then a week later, when it was refiled, they dismissed it because it was filed too late.
Yeah.
Okay, that has nothing to do with the election.
Yeah. And Sanford's right. The Republicans were as bad as the Democrats about that. It's both sides, folks.
It's politics. I'm not singling anybody out. It's in politics.
Yeah. The media, and John is right. Media has gone full Pravda. The lack of coverage, not allowing the media into the border areas to take videos, which Trump allowed the whole time.
Well, that's the thing. If that cat-haired Twinkie had said, "You can't," the media, you can't go.
Yeah,
there'd have been busloads of them down there.
Yep. The other one is Harris. When she was in Denver, they never allowed any local coverage. Say what you want to about Trump and Pence, but when they went somewhere, local media was allowed to cover them.
And I say again, my last, if they'd have said no local media, the local media would have shown up in boatloads and crashed the security.
Well, they did and tried that in Denver, and it didn't work. They were kept well away.
But again, if the previous occupant of the White House had said, there will be no media on the border, every major news organization in the world would have rented a bus, filled it full of media, and been on the border 3.2 seconds later.
The only ones that are down there apparently are Fox that are actually providing any coverage. Josh says the left has also figured out how to play a Bertha Mariscova. Yeah, that's true. The other one that happened this morning apparently was, I thought, rather interesting, is Rand Paul apparently got after Fauci in a Senate hearing.
It needs to happen a little more often than it does.
Yeah. And Fauci tried to dismiss Paul, which didn't work real well because Dr. Rand Paul pointedly asked him where his evidence was about mask. And Fauci apparently went on a, well, you're just playing politics rant. And never answered the question.
Of course not.
Why am I not surprised? So other than that, how's everybody else doing out there in TV land?
I've got that off my chest. It's been a stressful year.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And of course, the weather yesterday was fun. Our friend Alma was down for a couple of days.
Oh, I'm not from Amarillo.
Yeah, went back to Amarillo. I got a text yesterday morning from her. She says, "Well, it's 30 degrees of whiteout. Winds are 25 to 30, gusting to 50. Welcome to spring." And then about 5 minutes later, she texted again and says, "Well, there went the power."
I love Amarillo, but I didn't love the blizzards.
Yeah,
I can do without the blizzards. That's one of the things about Texas. 4 hours away, there's a blizzard.
Yeah.
We were in sunshine.
Yeah. We were sunshine and warm until
Until
about 1 o'clock, and then the temperature went thunk and dropped
welcome to Texas in the
15
spring.
degrees in less than an hour.
You got 2 weeks of spring. Enjoy it.
Yeah. And Sarah's going, "It's only March." And RK went, "Yeah, normal panhandle weather." Yeah, pretty much.
Yep.
That's why I said the other week, you never plant anything in Texas until the mesquite blooms.
Well,
Because up to that point, you're still liable to get snow or freezes or anything else.
it's in Texas. You have to be careful, especially in North or West Texas. There's usually a freeze the week before Easter.
Yeah.
I won't say always because as soon as I do, Texas will shoot me and cop me a snook.
Yeah.
But usually there's a freeze. There's Easter freeze.
Yeah. And Raptor says, "I'm enjoying sunny Florida and grateful my future SIL has gone home. Classic New England leftist." Oh, lovely. And Josh says the day job has been getting busier, not up to 2 years ago, but it's gone loco. Oh, man, I feel for you.
And again, folks on my side of the fence who allegedly should professionally know better are demanding that we start making nice, that we need unity. And for the record, yet again, I will state when they start showing me good faith efforts and unity, i.e., when they start snubbing off their frothing your mouth idiots, I will be happy to start making overtures of unity. But until they start smacking their frothing idiots down,
which they're not going to do,
I don't consider that good faith.
No.
And I am not going to call for unity until the other side shows me they're serious.
And that's not going to happen anytime soon.
And
because they think they're in control.
People that know better are wanting our side, my side. I don't know if they're on my side anymore.
Yeah.
Wanting my side to start making overtures of unity with nothing from the other side.
This is the gun rights argument all over again. It goes on and on and on. Their version of unity is we give them everything, they give us nothing, and we become good little proles that do what they told us.
As soon as the leftist bigwigs start smacking down these idiots, sure, I'll start making overtures of unity, but they're not.
No.
They're letting them make their calls for anti-unity. No, I'm done with that. Oh, and speaking of, since when does the United States have a prime minister?
Yeah.
Nancy Pelosi is hell-bent on turning the Speaker of the House of Representatives into our version of a prime minister. It's really starting to annoy me.
Yeah, she won't be. And Sarah says they will only slap down their extremists when the poll numbers plummet and they panic. Yep. Unity of said Sanford, I love you, man. Love you like a brother. Unity is good. Unity of rope, lamppost, and POL. That works. Yeah, when the enemy capitulates and agrees with me. Their unity is bullshit. It always has been.
Capitulation.
Yeah.
I care about you've got these, and not just any random Twitter or Instagram hoe. I'm talking folks with blue checks.
Yeah.
And folks that had power in previous Democratic administrations calling for truth and reconciliation commissions, which I can tell you from experience was a really bad idea.
Yep.
And you got them calling for Republicans don't need to vote until they're retrained.
Yeah.
This is unity. And these are people high up that were high up in former Democratic administrations. Why have they not been slapped down?
Yeah. And Raptors made another comment about the SIL to B. He says, whatever. They live in a different state. Once the wedding's over, not my problem. Yep. Sarah said, insta-ho. Raptor, you're just a mean old man. You're going to corrupt those nieces and nephews as hard as you can.
Explosives.
Yeah. Yeah, that out of context quote that I put up on Facebook. We had friends in town for a few days in their quest to relocate from previous duty station to new duty station. And they needed a break. So we hosted them for 4 days, 5 days.
Are you asking me? I was confused the entire time.
Yeah. Anyway, 6-year-old and a 3-year-old, boy and a girl. Cute little kids. Poor Obi, however, by yesterday was hiding under my desk because he was kitted out.
Frazzled?
Yeah. But there were some of the little poppers that you play with. And Ian had taken the boy out and was teaching him how to do it safely. And the little 3-year-old girl comes up to me and goes, in a perfectly enunciated, very clear voice, can I play with explosives too?
Why, yes, darling, you can.
Yes, you can. So
I took the Sprague and the Baron out, and I got to learn how to talk to the wee ones.
Yeah.
Because teacup humans, apparently, the phrase check down range for friendlies, their mama had to come up and explain, and I thought I was being pretty clear.
Yeah, you were. But
Mama had to come up and explain.
Yeah. And the funny part was it was just starting to get a little dark.
Oh, yeah.
And a state vehicle happened to come rolling down the street about that time.
Ran over a whole bunch of unpopped poppers.
Yeah. And pulled up to the stop sign and stopped.
Yep.
And everybody kind of went, And the kids wanted to go back to throwing things. It's like, let's wait a minute.
And
here.
they had these little red tubes that were enhanced poppers.
Yeah.
Poppers on steroids.
Yeah.
And they did sound a bit like a 22 when they hit the dirt.
Yeah, they did. And later, after everything had been finished, supposedly, I walked out, smoked a cigarette, truck went the other way and hit 3 or 4 more. Screech. And I ducked back in the garage right quick. See nothing, know nothing, didn't have my watch, not my address.
The number of people, when we started throwing little red ones and it sounded like 22s and 32s going off, the number of people that suddenly developed an interest in walking down the street went up markedly. Apparently, the Baron, the girl, the last wasn't a big fan of the red ones until I showed her how to throw one.
Yeah.
But underhand, I was kind of crouched down in front of them, so they were throwing past me, and then I'd pivot.
Yeah.
And I was taking gravel on my back a couple of times.
Yeah. I, on the other hand, was smart enough to stand over by the mother, out of range.
I didn't want them to get hit with any of the gravel from the road.
Yeah.
So when they throw it, I'd pivot so that any gravel that was kicked up by those little red buggers would hit me and it did. It hit me in the back a couple of times. Fun.
Yeah. And we took them to one of our local Mexican restaurants yesterday.
I missed that. How was that?
Oh, it was hilarious.
Was it?
Oh, yeah.
Was there charming going on?
Yes. And I might have called the wee one out on her charming, and she looked at me and grinned and said, I'm not doing it on purpose.
Oh, horse feathers.
Yeah.
That child is going to be dangerous in about 15 years.
Yes. But we have another set of converts to our local Mexican restaurant.
Because it's a good Mexican restaurant.
Yeah,
They liked it. They liked it.
Yep.
I'm terrified that one of these days we'll take somebody there and they won't like it.
I doubt that that's going to happen.
Well, people are weird.
But the waitresses were all waving at me when we got in. So apparently we're becoming a known quantity there too.
We've posted really good reviews of the place.
Yeah.
So I got a thank you from Chewy that one time after I posted a review.
Yeah.
Apparently, was it nut to butt with uniforms again?
We were late, so there were only a couple of uniforms in there, but it was pretty much full as usual.
The local United States Air Force base has discovered it. And it's getting to where you need to throw elbows when you go through the door to find a table.
Yeah. Yeah, Cedar, those kids are adorable and growing up fast.
The lass is going to be she's going to be a force to be reckoned with.
Yeah. 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 RK, we tend to haunt the same kinds of places.
If you find a place that's good food and doesn't give you the Mexican two-step, you
Yeah.
need to go there.
No, Jason, the kiddos did not get souvenir switchblades from the white staff. They have their own already.
Good, that's no lie.
Oh,
I got to introduce this lovely little gin.
yeah.
This deep blue gin, and apparently, I didn't get to test the theory. If you mix it, it changes color.
Huh.
And apparently it's out of the Northwest. I really need to get a bottle of that and experiment.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, Sarah. I've heard comments about your 10-year-old, and yeah, praying that she uses her powers for good would be a good thing. Yeah, kids.
The scary thing is, Mama keeps saying, I told the child, I said, you need to be sure you use these powers only for good. And Mama holds up a finger and said, use the powers only for awesome,
Yeah.
which is kind of concerning.
Yeah.
When she gets to LibertyCon this next time, that's going to be bad.
Oh, yeah.
She'll have her own army of minions.
Yeah. She's got her own army of uncles anyway.
She's going to wrap Tom Kratman around that little finger.
Yeah.
That's the scary part.
Yeah.
He'll go full grandfather on her, and that's going to be bad.
That will be worth a picture or two or three.
That'll be an entire chapter in the history books.
Yeah.
That will. Good Lord.
Tom Kratman in person is not a grouchy old man.
No, he's fantastic.
Yeah.
He is engaging.
Yeah.
Extremely smart, witty, charming.
Scared the shit out of Ian.
Yeah. Yes, he did. Because he was serious about the death toll. That if he became Emperor of the United States, he's got a plan and a list.
Yeah. And it's a long list.
And he's bloody well serious he is. It's like, oh crap.
Now, I was more laughing about the incident in the restaurant.
Which one?
When he came in. Oh, you're a law dog.
Oh God, that was horrible. Oh, that was
And
horrible.
Ian is trying to climb over the back of the booth to get away.
Oh. I don't know what was worse, him doing that or him sitting in the front row at the no shit there I was panel laughing his ass off.
Yeah. Yes, that was a good one too. Yeah. Jason says, I for one welcome our future young warlords.
Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah, Jason, I think probably half of them are going to be female. A chapter with arrows on maps. Yes.
And death tolls.
Yeah.
That's one
Yes, he is, Josh.
That's one of the things that's going to be interesting.
You just now picked up on that?
What?
Josh didn't realize you were law dog.
I'm not. You are correct, Josh. I am not.
Oh, God.
Good God, really?
Yeah.
Well, I suppose it's still working then, isn't it? The something that I don't say very often that's going
No,
to be
he
interesting.
was yanking your chain.
Oh, that kind of expected. One of the things that's going to be really interesting that I hope I'm around to see the studies on this, although I don't think it will be. There's going to be a small group of female children who are going to, in about 10 or 15 years, are going to be female and comfortable with being female and good at it.
Yeah.
At a time when there's going to be a whole lot more that aren't. They're just going to be guys in funny shaped bodies. And that is going to be game changing.
Yeah. Yeah, it's going to be game changing. The other thing is, speaking of game changers, the lawsuits now for Title IX that are starting to hit universities, among other things, because the actual females are fighting back at the high school and college level over Title IX.
The ladies need to hang on. They're catching cornbread hell for this.
Yeah,
They need to hang on. They're trying to be shamed and guilted into being quiet. And they'll if they're not shamed and guilted into being quiet, they'll be threatened and doxxed into being quiet.
yeah.
And they need to stay the course.
Well, and like what happened in the Senate or the House the other day with a hearing, the Republicans were only allowed to have two witnesses.
What hearings?
Huh?
What hearings?
About Title IX.
Oh,
Yeah, yeah. Sarah, I'm sorry to raise that, but it is something that is going to be an issue.
what's that?
The whole Title IX issue.
Ugh. Anybody that didn't see this coming
Yeah.
was they should have their licenses removed because I don't care. It's the Title IX issue was coming.
Yeah.
Because there's way too many. I brought up. I forget. I don't have the research at my fingertips, but I brought up the fact that women's Olympic sprinters are running the same time as a mediocre Texas high school sprinter.
Yeah.
Mediocre to decent
Yeah.
are doing the same times as Olympic women's 100-meter sprinters.
Yeah.
Good medal winning high school young men are beating the Olympic women's sprinters
Yeah.
all day long and twice on Sunday. And it's the same thing. The same thing happens across the board. You can't, weightlifting, sprinting, mixed martial arts, for God's sake. I hate to tell folks this, but Mother Nature decided that women and men will not be physically equal.
Yeah.
And it's I've been strength training for about 3 years, and I've had some major setbacks. I'm not nearly where I should be.
Yeah.
I regularly work out on squats and deadlift at stuff that far younger women post as their personal records.
Yeah.
I was back before this latest oopsie. I was squatting 280 pounds for 3 sets of 5.
Yeah.
And young women half my age were posting personal records of 200 and 225 pounds. That's for one rep.
Yeah.
And I'm repping 15 times.
Yeah.
Much higher than that.
Josh brings up a good point. The biggest issue with the gender is most debating them don't actually know what a man and a woman actually are. And RK's,
Or they've muddied the water so much that they think nobody does.
yeah, and RK's point's good. Olympics be East Germany all over again. Yeah.
Good Lord, no kidding.
The real crux of the matter, though, is it went from gays to lesbians to trans, and now we're to this point where they're trying to destroy the culture of the United States any way they can. And one of the ways they're trying to do that is to muddy the waters to the point that nobody is sure who anybody is.
I'm not sure they're actually trying to destroy it. I think they're trying to improve it for their versions of improve.
They're trying to destroy it. I mean, what they're doing to the military. I got an email yesterday from somebody that I know that's now in over 20 years in the Navy, who said the stand down. Now they were forward deployed at the time. They're forward deployed. They had to stop operations to have this stand down on extremism. And he said there was no definition of extremism other than white supremacy.
I'm going to get in trouble at Facebook yet again. I'm sorry, folks. The job of the military, the primary and single drive of the military, should be on killing people and breaking their shit.
That's what it's supposed to do.
Everything else runs second.
Yeah.
Your kindness, your unity, your diversity, your whatever the local buzzwords are this week.
Yeah.
Until the U.S. Army or U Army, there's my bias showing. Until the U.S. military is number one in killing and breaking, the rest of it, I don't give a damn.
Yeah.
Nobody should give a damn. We are on a collision course with China. It is going
Yep.
to happen, folks. Sooner or later, we are going to be in a knife fight, metaphorically speaking, with China.
Yep.
We're already in a covert slap fight.
And have been.
We have been for decades. But we're going to be in a no shit, banging, bodies bouncing, bullets zinging war with China. Right now, we cannot win. In war games performed by the U.S. Air Force, 13 different repetitions, we lost 13 times.
17.
Excuse me, 17. We
Yeah.
lost every time.
Yep.
And trust me, I've seen war games played, and they load them in our favor when they're playing war games. Even loaded in our favor, we still couldn't win.
Yep.
The Chinese military is training to kill people and break their shit.
Yep.
We are training to weed out bad think in our this.
It's like the whole thing with pregnancy flight suits.
No, for God's sake.
I'm sorry, if a female is pregnant, they're not going to be flying.
It shouldn't be.
Yeah.
That was one of the things that got me in trouble at the agency, though. I found out, rather shocking to my shocked reaction, that I could not tell a pregnant female that she couldn't work a extremely dangerous assignment.
Yeah.
Until a pregnant female, and this goes bad two different ways. Until a pregnant female asks to be removed, it is a violation of something to remove her.
Yeah.
So if I had a inmate who was known for attempting to kill officers, flinging body fluids up to and including feces, and attempting to shank people through a beanhole, I could not tell a 9.5-month pregnant officer she couldn't work there.
Yeah.
Until she said she didn't want to.
Yeah.
Which, I'm sorry, I'm a Neanderthal, but deep down in my blood and bone is protect the pregnant.
Yep. That's what we're supposed to do, or that's what we were supposed to do.
And the two issues that I was bringing up, one, you've got women that will hang on to dangerous assignments up to and including eyebrows start showing.
Yeah.
And only then will they, and you've got others that will use pregnancy as a crutch.
Yeah.
Now, I realize you can't demand the same for everybody.
Yeah.
But there needs to be, I'm sorry, if you're a lady and you're under my command and you're pregnant, I'm going to protect you.
Yeah.
Realize that's Neanderthal of me, and I probably shouldn't be doing it, but it's going to happen.
Yeah. Well, I'm the same way because I'm an old fart, and that's the way I was raised. Yeah.
But I got called into a supervisor's office and told Officer A says she hasn't worked ad seg in 6 weeks. Why not? And I said, because she's preggers.
Yeah.
And this senior officer said, you can't do that. Well, I'm not putting her in the violent inmate rotation. I'm sorry. You can't do that. Mother, I can't.
Yeah. Yeah, as RK says, China's top generals said flat out they will go to war with the U.S.
Yeah.
And Josh's response was, China aids because it suits their purpose to have a weak enemy, which it does, and their cooperation with Biden or Ziden, whatever you want to call him, is going down that direction. And Jason's brings up a good point. China wants to repeat Pearl Harbor, but to take out the carriers and manufacturing hubs at the same time.
Well,
that is what they want to do, is they want to stop the seaborne.
What?
So they want to hit Pearl Harbor, they want to hit Yokosuka, They want to hit Sasebo. They want to hit Bremerton. They want to hit Norfolk. They want to hit San Diego.
People I trust who make a good living at predicting this sort of thing have said that China will take Taiwan first.
Yeah.
And then sit back and watch for a year or two, see what the world and the U.S. does.
John, it's going to be well before 2049.
2049 will probably be the U.S., but they'll take Taiwan first, and then sit back and watch.
They'll try to take Taiwan in the next 4 years.
Then they'll take Japan and South Korea and sit back and watch.
Yeah.
Then they'll take Australia and sit back and watch. And then it's our turn.
Yeah. Yeah, Aaron, that's part of the problem too, is a lot of manufacturing hubs are in China now. They're not here.
And the Chinese have their mandate from heaven.
Yeah.
And that's a religious drive, folks. Religion doesn't have to make sense.
Yeah.
Their religion, their mandate from heaven says that they must rule the world.
Yeah. Yeah, Sanford, that's a good point. They do not. They do want to repeat Pearl Harbor, but they want the Sun Tzu perfect record or the perfect win without firing a shot.
They're getting it.
They will take a shot through a proxy though. They have no problems doing that.
Do you know how many Chinese wound up going home in body bags in the 70s in Africa?
Yeah, a lot.
Wound up in Russian or native uniforms. And you know good and well that that Chinese guy with the high and tight and the muscles is not a random mercenary who showed up in West Africa because there was a fight going on.
Yeah. Jason, if they go after India, they want India on their side because they want that pipeline.
India.
But what they will do is they will
here.
set India against Pakistan because that will effectively shut the back door for them. Because if those two are fighting, they're not going to be worried about China on the other side.
India's a near peer to China. They're by no means a peer, but they're close. And they could put a hurt on the Chinese military. They'd lose. India would bloody well lose in about 72 hours.
Yeah, but that's where I'm saying
Yeah.
China is going to put them and Pakistan against each other.
So China goes to war with India, and India has aspirations for that part of the world too.
Yeah.
India will lose in about 72 hours, but the hurt they put on China will take a generation or two to recover from.
Yeah. Well, and Josh, you're right. The Japanese would go nuclear.
Oh yeah.
No doubt about it. And yes, India does hate China, but they also get a lot of money from China. And they are beholden to a number of Chinese for the pipelines and other things, which the Chinese historically have loaned a lot of money to people in the third world, especially. And then when the bill comes due and those people can't pay the money back, now China takes ownership, not only of that property or whatever it is, or that manufacturing, which a lot of times is manufacturing, but they also get access to the raw materials, which is really what their goal is.
That's why they take over most of Africa.
Yeah.
For the raw materials. Africa is a wonderful source of raw material. Cobalt.
Yeah.
Aluminum. Oil, for God's sake.
Yeah.
Everything you need to prosecute a modern war, you can get out of Africa. The interesting thing for me is going to be watching what Mongolia does. I'd like to see which way Mongolia jumps once China starts.
Yeah.
Because China thinks Mongolia would be on their side. But
I know.
Mongolians tend to be Mongolian.
Yeah, Mongolians, the Nepalese, and a few others. Aaron, that's a good point about the Mormon's passage. By small and simple things are great things brought to pass. Normally, that's attributed to God as a good thing, but it also fits for what, as she says, fits for what China's actions are.
Slow and steady wins the
Yeah.
race. Has always had, will always. Remembering, folks, that we're not capable of thinking past 4 years.
Yeah.
Maybe 8 on a good presidential cycle.
Yeah.
The Chinese think in centuries. It's up.
Jason, the problem with electric cars is That
multifaceted.
that will fail for two simple reasons. One, there is not enough raw material in the world to build the number of batteries you need for electric vehicles. Two is there is not enough generating power in the United States or anywhere else for all of those electric vehicles to actually get power.
The infrastructure simply does not exist.
The infrastructure cannot be upgraded to the point where it could exist. That would be trillions of dollars, and probably, from one report that I saw, 50 to 60 years to bring the current power structure, power grid in the United States up to that level. And it would require multiple nuclear power plants. You can't do it with coal, you can't do it with natural gas. It would require nuclear plants, something on the order of, I want to say 200 nuclear plants.
Oh no, it's more than that. The thing about this push for all electric vehicles in the United States or in the world, when you start getting into the fine print, or you start talking to the folks that are pushing this hard over gin and tonic back where nobody else is listening,
Yeah.
is they're not intending a 1-for-1 swap.
No.
They're not intending if you're a two-car family that in 10 years by 2030 you'll have 2 electric cars. They're planning on less than 10% of the number of vehicles currently. If there's and just to throw a random number out there, if there's 100,000 vehicle, internal combustion vehicles in the United States, they want to have 10,000 electric vehicles and no combustion vehicles.
Yeah.
That's what they're going for. Is they seriously, their holy grail is public transportation.
Yeah.
Which
does not work in a rural area.
No, but the folks pushing it so hard are not from rural areas. Have never lived in a rural area, has no idea what a rural area is.
Yeah.
But when you're living in New York City or Manhattan or what the hell is up there, or Connecticut, public transportation makes a great, and what is it in Manhattan? Less than 1% of the population has a driver's license.
Yep.
Public transportation is a really good idea.
Yeah. Except what happens when it breaks down.
It's not a good idea in Buckscuffle, Texas.
Yeah.
But they're not taking that into account. I don't want to say that the idea of the independence of the average American with access to an internal combustion driven vehicle who can go anywhere, I don't want to say that sets their teeth on edge, but I suspect it does.
Yeah. Yeah. Josh Smith says, Larry Niven, the road to Damascus. Yep. And Sarah said, you can't run an en masse evacuation like hurricane on electric vehicles either. And as our case is, you cannot evac in public transportation. Remember what happened in Katrina?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, an electric tractor runs 24 hours a day during harvest season. Yeah, right, Sanford. Like that shit's really going to happen.
That's what I've been telling people, and it's starting to show up. Is until you can refill or recharge or whatever an electric vehicle in the same amount of time it takes to recharge a liquid fuel vehicle, nobody in rural counties is going to take it.
Well, and that will never happen because, in Sanford's is a perfect example. What happens when harvest season starts? Mm-hmm. Those combines will start down here in Texas, mm-hmm. and they will go all the way to Minnesota. And they very seldom ever shut down.
I know.
Because that is billions of dollars in food. And the fact that those combines are upwards of $1 million a piece. And they are huge. If you've never seen one, I had the pleasure of following one for over an hour on a country road.
Welcome to Texas.
Because folded up I'm not saying out like it was going to be harvesting, but folded up as compact as they could get it. It filled both lanes of a 2-lane road and both shoulders. And that was not one of the large ones. But they literally will run from Texas all the way to the northern border of the United States.
Some of them get up into the
and probably up into Canada. Yeah.
But when if you got your standard pump, which is 8 pumps at your gas station.
Yeah.
And each one of those is occupied for 45 minutes to get a full charge on a vehicle.
Yeah.
Everybody waiting, it waits 45 minutes. And that's 45 minutes plus and plus and plus and plus and plus. So to fill 3 cars at one pump or charge station is 2.5 hours.
Yeah.
That's 3 cars.
Yeah.
In 2.5 hours, how many gasoline cars can you fill?
Yeah. Hundreds. Yeah, Raptor says we're listening to John Ringo's novel. Yeah, pretty much.
No kidding. You need to buy that man a drink.
Yeah, that's a good point, RK. Cole the Corn Star on YouTube.
What?
It's a YouTube called Cole the Corn Star. It's a YouTube channel of a farmer.
Okay. But these folks in their ivory towers in Manhattan have no idea.
No.
They've taken public transportation every day of their lives. They've never had to drive. They don't even know how to drive.
Yeah.
And they've never set foot off their inbred little island long enough to see what the rest of the world is like.
And Jonna says Oregon is trying to ban diesel fuel in the state. Jonna, do they not realize that if Oregon bans diesel fuel, they're effectively banning the use of tractor trailers that deliver their food?
Good. But they need to ban it after we get Jonna down here.
Yeah.
Once we get John down here, then they can ban their heart's content. Because it's 3 days before the food rights start?
Yeah.
I'm good with that.
Yeah.
Socialism should hurt.
We need to get Don and a couple other people out of there too. The cartoonist, he's fantastic.
Socialism should hurt.
Yeah.
It should hurt them, not me.
Yeah.
I'm not a socialist. I don't need to get hurt by it. But those that are screaming, begging, no, crying out for socialism need to take it in the shorts a couple of times.
Oh, that's a good point, John. Yeah, it would also mean banning trains in Oregon.
No.
So no train yards.
No. Again, socialism should hurt, but just not me.
Yeah.
I'm not a socialist. I don't need to get stuck in the butt by socialism, but everybody up there voting for it needs to hurt.
Oh, yeah. Well,
I voted stupid and now I'm hungry and dying. It makes me happy.
Jesse, stop it.
What's that?
So they're trains phobic?
Oh, for God's sake. Ooh, we could be a trains rights activist.
Don't give them any ideas. No, actually, that would be interesting. Because I know some people are railroad engineers.
Called trains rights activists?
Oh, God, yes. And these old boys are not your spit and polish types by any means.
Again, everybody that votes for socialism, without having learned from the millions of immigrants we got from former socialist countries that are all screaming, don't bloody well do it.
Yeah.
Everybody voting for socialism should get hurt by their vote.
Sanford, Californication of Texas is not going on in our part of the country. Trust me.
Well, there's some of them, but they tend to go back pretty quick. Now, one silly bimbo that kept calling in because there were armed men walking along the road. It's September 1, sweetheart. It's dove season.
Well, and the one moved out of Iowa Park here with a quickness.
It was a beautiful thing to see. Yes, one silly bitch. Let's call it 911. There's armed men on the road. Are they wearing camouflage? Oh my God, they're wearing camouflage. They're dove hunters. They'll be all right. Welcome to Texas.
Yeah.
It's one of our state holidays. September 1 is
the
opening day of dove season. It's a state holiday.
And there are no schools. And the kids are out there, and the older kids are out there, and the adult kids are out there.
Because of the small tricycle motors are great for going and getting the bird after you shoot it.
Yeah.
Yo, teacup human, go get that bird.
Yeah. May the blessings of St. Augusto be upon them all. All right, folks, we've wasted another hour of your time today. Thanks for listening in.
Sorry that we're being us again.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
You knew what you better should have known what you're going to get when you logged on.
Yeah. But we do appreciate the comments. We do appreciate some of y'all trying to run us off into the weeds.
I don't think we need the help.
No, we don't. Anyway, y'all be safe. Have a good weekend. Remember, don't sweat the petty stuff. Don't pet the sweaty stuff,
Be
folks.
safe, guys.
Bye.